The Premier League season has now almost come to an end, which means it is time to show you guys my Premier League team of the season. But before I start, I'm very curious to see yours, so let me know in the comments who your team of the season is. Goalkeeper. In net, I've decided to go with no other than Mate Sels. With a whopping 13 clean sheets at the time of recording, he has absolutely carried Forest to their insane season. Because to be honest, who was expecting Forest to be fighting for the Champions League spots this year? Because respectfully, I had them in the relegation battle when I did my Premier League prediction. But Sels, with some amazing saves, 13 clean sheets at the time of recording, as I said, had to be the goalkeeper of this season. Now, moving on to right back. And I promise you guys, I won't have the whole Forest defense in here, but I had to pick Ole Aina. Because this guy got rejected by Chelsea, went on to Torino, came back to the Premier League, and now at Forest he has shown his quality and ability to perform on the highest stages consistently. This guy was an absolute threat, attacking wise, defensively wise, and he actually scored a few bangers as well this season. And this guy was very important for Forest during this whole entire season. And that's exactly why I decided to go with Ole Aina at right back. Now moving on to the best centre back duo of this league. And I'm gonna start with the right centre back, where I've decided to go with a Brazilian heading monster, Gabriel from Arsenal. The fact that this guy was probably one of the most dangerous attacking players from a corner somewhat in this season absolutely blows my mind. This guy, together with Saliba of course, was absolutely insane. They were almost unbeatable, no team could score against them, and he was very important for this Arsenal defense. And it seems like Gabriel is starting to get better and better every season he plays. And that's why I have Gabriel as my right centre back. Now, who am I going to pair with Gabriel? There has to be one man and one man only. The captain, the Dutch captain of Liverpool, who led Liverpool to their 20th Premier League title. Big Virg, aka Virgil van Dijk. With at the moment 14 clean sheets on his name this season, maybe one of the best defenders this whole world has ever seen, and again he has proven himself this year. He was there, he was the captain, and he led this quote-unquote new Liverpool team to their Premier League win. And we all know it, how important he is, how much aura this man has, and he has shown it this season. And I think there's absolutely no doubt that Virgil van Dijk deserves a spot in this Premier League team of the season. At left back, I'm going with a player who has noted 10 assists in this Premier League campaign, and of course that's no other player than Anthony Robinson from Fulham. Might be an interesting shout because there were a few options at left back that I could have chosen, but I decided to go with him because I just really like him, to be honest. This is a guy who can dominate that whole left side. He's bombing up and down the pitch and he's giving 100% effort every single time. And this season, he's finally gotten some assists with that as well, because 10 assists as a left back is quite a lot. It kind of reminds me of Robertson at Liverpool in his prime. And to be honest, I think Robertson is definitely ready to make a step up. And as a Liverpool fan myself, he can definitely come and join us. So Anthony Robinson is going to be my Premier League team of the season left back. Now, with the defense on lock, it is time to move up to the midfielders. And the first midfielder that I have is no other than Ryan Gravenberch. This guy was an absolutely key player for this Liverpool title winning team. Because Gravenberch did things with the ball that nobody thought was possible. And also the way he wins his duels, he passes, he creates space for himself and for other players is absolutely world class. When he went from Ajax to Bayern, nobody expected Gravenberch to do as good as he has been doing right now for Liverpool. And the fact that Slot trusted him as their number 6 is insane. And also the fact that he has proven himself that he can be one of the best players in the world is even better. And that's why Ryan Gravenberch is my first midfielder of this team of the season. Now, moving on to the second midfielder. And this guy might be a player that not a lot of you guys have in your own team of the season. But I think Declan Rice deserves a spot in this team. And why do I think that? When we are looking at Arsenal and we're looking at key players, I think Declan Rice is the one that makes this Arsenal team tick. Of course, you have the likes of Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, and they are all very important. Don't get me wrong. But when Rice like when you get Rice out of that team, I think the whole midfield just isn't as good anymore. And especially with the season Ødegaard had, where he just didn't do anything like the year before, Rice was very, very important. The amount of assists he got from corners and just in general is insane. And he's shown his class week in, week out. Of course, he hasn't done anything special, but he's just Mr. Consistent. And sometimes you need that consistency, which he has proven. And without Rice, Arsenal would definitely not be second in the Premier League. And that's why I put Declan Rice next to Ryan Gravenberch on the midfield. 7 players done, and now it is time for the last midfielder of my team. And in my opinion, I've picked one of the most underrated players of the whole Premier League. And that is no other than McAllister. This guy is so important for Liverpool and has been important for them this whole entire season. Scoring very important goals and just being the engine of this team. This guy can defend, he can attack, he can give that through ball, he can shoot from distance with his left, with his right, he can win you the ball, he can recover. Name me one thing and McAllister can do it. This guy was, together with Gravenberch, they carried the whole Liverpool team. And every game McAllister didn't play, for example, you could definitely see that Liverpool wasn't at their best. And this guy is now also a Premier League winner, next to the fact that he has also won a World Cup. And I have to tell you guys, when he went from Brighton to Liverpool, I did not expect McAllister to be as good as he has been for us. And this season he absolutely showed his class, and I hope he can show his class next year as well. Now, moving on to the right winger, and I'm pretty sure everyone has this guy in his team of the season, because if you guys don't have this guy, then you don't know ball. And of course, I'm talking about Mohamed Salah. 28 goals and 18 assists at the time of recording as a right winger. Do you guys know how absolutely insane that is? Of course, I might be speaking with a little bit of bias, as I am a Liverpool fan myself, but the things that Salah has shown this season, especially during those first 5-6 months, is just insane. And it seems like the older he gets, the better he performs. So when the news came out that Mo Salah was going to extend his contract at Liverpool for 2 more years, you guys should have seen how happy I was. And I'm very excited to see what he can do for us in the upcoming next 2 years. Because this guy was a one-man strike force. He carried this whole Liverpool attack and he carried Liverpool to their 20th league title. Moving on from the Premier League player of the season to the Premier League striker of the season. And I have to be honest, this position was 50-50 for me. Because in the end I decided to go with Alexander Isak, but I also could have gone with Chris Wood, who of course had a phenomenal season at Forest as well, so quick shout out to Chris Wood. But in the end I went with Alexander Isak, who scored 23 goals and 6 assists at the time of recording, and he absolutely carried this Newcastle team. And this guy is just world class. I think it is time for Isak to potentially make a step up. Not saying that Newcastle is a small team, but he could potentially go to the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and probably perform even better than he's doing right now already. Of course, the most important thing for Isak is getting Champions League football, which he is most likely getting with Newcastle. But if one team can put in like a 150 mil bid, or maybe even 200, he could potentially leave and sign for a bigger club. And as a Liverpool fan myself, I really wish that Alexander Isak comes to us this summer. Now, moving on to the last player of my team of the season, and that is of course the left winger. And in this case, I've decided to not actually put a real left winger, but I've decided to put in Matheus Cunha from Wolves. And this guy, I don't know, I think he's ready. He's ready to make a step up, because the fact that he carried this Wolves team so badly on his own is absolutely insane. So let's imagine what this guy could do if he makes a step to probably, or potentially to one of the big 6. He could definitely do amazing, because when he was injured, you could see this Wolves team struggle, and the moment he came back from injury, Wolves started to win, because they were close to getting relegated. And if Cunha wasn't there, Wolves probably would have gotten relegated. So that's the amount of impact that Matheus Cunha had on this Wolves team, and that's why in my opinion he deserves a spot in this Premier League team of the season. Now, this is my full team of the season, And of course, there were loads and loads of players that I could have picked, for example, like Bruno Fernandes, Lenkovic, Chris Wood, as I said, even Kerkez. So football is a game based on opinions. So let me know in the comments who your team of the season is and who did I miss. And of course, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content. And with that being said, I will see you guys very, very soon.